What up, photography family? In this video, we're talking about the Lumix ZR1. Specifically, we're talking about whether the 12 megapixel CCD sensor ZR1 is a good enough travel camera.
It's better with the nice things, with the nice things. Life is better with the ice cream, with the ice cream. Life is better with the nice things, with the nice things. About life with the ice cream, with the ice cream. Take nothing, please don't leave nothing. Game called life, life don't need buttons. Up, down, round, hate when we loving. Say that shit again at night when we fucking. I don't even know what I really want. Another year taking hella long. Should I keep my mind on a million? Should I keep my mind on a million? But my mind is on you. Got my mind on other girls too. Changed a lot since I met you.
So the boring stuff is it's a 12 megapixel camera. It shoots 4:3 full ratio if you want to take the full 12 megapixels from the sensor. It has a focal length equivalent of 25 millimeters up to 200 millimeters. There's no shutter priority. There's no aperture priority. There's just a bunch of scene modes. The sensor is about 6x4 millimeter sensor, very small sensor. And then the Leica equivalent to the Lumix ZR1 is a Leica V-lux 20.
Conmigo no tengas miedo, tengo amor en casa, no estás en riesgo. Solo un paso aquí, solo un giro allí. Quiero verte moverte, quiero verte reír. No te preocupes, no morderé, tan solo bailo sin compromiso, bebé. Sigue el ritmo, siente el calor. Quiero verte feliz sin ningún error. Echa tus penas a volar. Solo quiero verte vibrar. No te asustes que no duele. Solo quiero ver cómo te mueves. Cierra los ojos, deja que fluya. Suelta el miedo y la mirada tuya. No pisaré tus pies, confía en mí. Solo bailamos con este frenesí.
So the carrying experience. The ZR1 is very pocketable. I often keep cameras like this in my front pocket, or if I have those carpenter pants on, I have that side pocket and I can just throw the camera in there and honestly forget about it. And then when I see something, remember to pull it out and take photos of it. This was my first time shooting with the ZR1, so didn't have many expectations, but also wasn't familiar with the camera at all. So I began messing around with it in the airport right away. You can see me take a picture at its widest focal length, 25, and then I zoom in at 200 millimeters and take it as well. It is kind of shaky, but is expected with the slow shutter speed at the tele zoom. I messed around with shooting without the flash and a slow shutter speed, and then I shot with flash in the same exact scene. You see these pictures of Asia back to back. I was just trying to see what would look better. You can tell on the actual screen of the camera, but way easier to see the difference on the actual computer screen. Like it all depends on your style of photography. If you prefer the flash or not flash, I think most people would enjoy the pop flash look in these photos. Most of the shots I took at the widest focal length, mainly because I don't want to spend a lot of time just zooming in and out.
Conmigo en este momento. segundas señales, no hay tormento. Es solo danza, pura libertad. Esta noche solo hay felicidad. Echa tus penas a volar. Solo quiero verte vibrar. No te asustes que no duele. Solo quiero ver cómo te mueves, cómo te mueves. Cómo te mueves, cómo te mueves. Cómo te mueves, cómo te mueves. Cómo te mueves, cómo te mueves.
So the shooting experience and the results, so not having a shutter priority or an aperture priority mode on this camera, most of these beginner entry-level cameras just have like a scene mode, which is SCN, and you can just select like snow, sports, flowers, night mode. You pretty much just choose those scenic type of photography, and if you really get into the camera, you can actually get pretty good with it. It even has like soft skin. If this were your only camera and your only main travel photography camera, you can really familiarize yourself on what works. Honestly, it's not too hard to just mess around with the scene modes and see what you like. When I was actually up in the airplane ride, I believe I used, let me look at the scene modes just to remember real quick. Use the snow mode to capture the picture of the clouds up in the air, and then it darkens the actual cabin of the airplane. It was pretty rare to have that many empty seats behind us, but pretty awesome. The photo definitely came out okay, but just definitely had to document that.
We scream beneath the palm tree shade, under the moon's silent parade. Tides rise like the words we spout, but love ain't something we erase out. Oceans roar, matching our fight. Stars above without a guiding light. You're my storm, my breeze, my sea. Can you forgive me before you flee? I'd rather forgive you than forget you. Our love's pain like waves it grew in the sand or the stormy night. Hold me close, make it right. Why we clash like thunder's call. In your arms I want it all. Even through the hurt and tears, I fight for us through the years.
So the CCD sensor definitely surprised me, and after I edit them, add a little bit of my own flavor to them, they definitely work for my kind of style, which is kind of trying to find a film-like feel to them. And the CCD sensor definitely helps you get the job done easier. Not that you can't do it with the CMOS sensor, it's just way easier, in my opinion, to do it with the CCD sensor with minimal edits. And to follow up with that, if you like the way that these photos came out, I ended up shooting the camera negative 1/3 of a stop. So dropping the exposure, the EV rating 1/3 of a stop and 2/3 of a stop. I would never go one full stop down, but what I found when shooting in this way is that I could easily raise the total exposure and raise the shadows if drop the highlights as needed, and that's how I got a lot of these results. So it really worked out with the photos that I took pictures of the ocean, the surfers, and with any sky in the background. If I would have shot at the normal EV rating, I think that it would have been blown out and not really having usable highlights without a lot of editing. So if you like the way I edited, that's how I did that.
winds like hurricanes, harsh, but your smile's a lovely march. In the wreckage left behind, can we mend where we can find? I'd rather forgive you than forget you. Our love's pain like waves it grew in the sand or the stormy night. Hold me close, make it right. I'd rather forgive you than forget you. Our love's pain like waves it grew in the sand or the
So the Leica version of the ZR1 Lumix is a V-lux 20. I checked on eBay real quick. So the Leica V-lux version of the ZR1 is selling online for about $200 to $300, which is pretty ridiculous in my opinion. If you're going to buy this version, definitely look for the Lumix ZR1, which I've seen sell for $50 all the way up to $100, and the $100 version is with the box included. The V-lux 20 is the exact same camera, selling for way more. It's definitely buy the Lumix version, but unfortunately, the versions after these two, I think it's the ZR2 and then the Leica V-lux 30, they actually adapt to the CMOS sensor and they no longer have the CCD film-like style. So something to consider. So I definitely think that the Lumix ZR1 is more than enough to use as a travel vacation camera. It's a note-taking camera that can definitely replace your iPhone and give you vintage feel photos and also give you a designated place to keep your travel photography. I think that's a bonus to have a designated device that has only featured in one place, similar to film versus having it on your phone. So there's no distraction from notifications or anything, and you get to use this square as an actual viewfinder and capture moments. It's a lot easier to get into your photography mind, photography eye, whatever you call it, focus on capturing moments. But that's it for this video, guys. If you liked this video, if you found it helpful, hit that like button for me. Comment any questions, suggestions down below. And as always, guys, let's see if I get it. Happy shooting. And we'll get the mic sound. Should be good enough. Boom.